Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the Designer, Jack McGrath back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Jack. Always good to have you back. You just said it. It seems like it's the first time we've done this in person in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple snow days here and there and stuff like that. So first time we've been in person. I'm excited to be here.
Well, before last time, we just went on the radio and they were like, we're going to turn that into a podcast.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That was after what? The Bears-Packers,
it was
one
Bears,
of them?
Packers, I think, and the holidays were right there.
And we went on after the 49ers game, and we had all that going on. So two good games to talk about. 49ers wasn't as happy after the loss, but the Packers games were pretty good to talk about. So that was good.
It was a good time. And you brought up such an interesting question on the show last week. It kind of set the social medias ablaze as people were like, what the heck is Jack talking about here? Even on the show, you feel like there are a plethora of players you would take over Caleb Williams at this point. Was that kind of the takeaway?
That was not my takeaway.
Oh, I thought that's what we were having. I was
going the opposite direction with the question. So my question was, how many players right now would you trade Caleb Williams for? And the point of the question is not to say go trade Caleb Williams. A lot of the comments on social media were misconstruing the question. I am not saying trade Caleb Williams. But the premise of the question of right now is essentially, it's a hypothetical.
Right.
Hypothetically, right now, Kansas City Chiefs come to you, and they say, we will give you Patrick Mahomes for Caleb Williams straight up. Would you take it? And I think there's a question in my mind of would you take that? And I don't think right now, given the contract situation, given that Patrick Mahomes is making millions and millions of dollars, and he has the injury, that I would take him over Caleb Williams right now under that contract in a straight-up trade for Caleb Williams.
Right.
I think I'm saying something similar for Josh Allen, which led me to the question, how many players exist in the NFL right now that you would trade straight up for Caleb Williams in a hypothetical one-for-one scenario where a team comes and says to you, we'll give you our best player, give us your most valuable player, and that's the quarterback?
Ooh, I think this is such an interesting question. And by the way, this episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. I think this is such an interesting question because it shows you the levels that Caleb accomplished this season. And when you look at his numbers, when you look at the talent level that we saw out of him, to me, I'll be honest with you, like there's not many players in the league right now that I think you could look at and say, I would rather have them than Caleb Williams. I'm not saying that I think that Caleb has entered top 10 players in the NFL yet, but when you bring so many different stipulations into it and the importance of the position, it's kind of guys in his draft class, and I wouldn't take Bo Nix over him. And honestly, Drake May...
You're not taking Cam Ward because Cam Ward didn't show anything.
Cam Ward's horrible. I'll be honest with you. I think the big one is Drake May, right? Would you take Drake May? Because that's the apples to apples comparison. And I wouldn't. And I talked about this with Shay, and we did this on the Breeze, and I think a lot of people, kind of looked at it and were like, are we comparing the two quarterbacks? No, it's the praise for Caleb Williams in this. Like, I think there's a certain star you have to carry to be a quarterback in Chicago, to be a star in Chicago, right? To be the face of a team in Chicago. Otherwise, there's so much you have to deal with. It's very difficult for you to overcome. And I think Caleb understood that coming into the NFL. And so when I look at, some of these players around the league that maybe have that, they have the contract already attached to them. If Pat Mahomes came up, would you trade Pat Mahomes for Caleb Williams straight up? There's a conversation there, but I have to feel like my team is ready to win now. Now, Pat Mahomes with
Ben Johnson in that offensive line.
I could be convinced on that because your assumption is you're going to win Super Bowls off of that. Josh Allen, right? There's conversations there. But there's still not like 100% I would rather have this guy. And I mention those guys because they already have the star. I think Drake May has those abilities, but it's a very different situation where you're going into the Patriots where literally it kind of a similar thing here, except I feel like Chicago's media will always go at you. They will always, and I'm not even going to say Chicago, nationally. When you're the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, people are going to go after you no matter what. Nobody cared what Drake May did last season. He was fine. He actually had a good year the limited time he got to play. But nobody was sitting there on First Take going, hey, is this the end of the world that this Drake May kid is maybe struggling through some of these games? It was just kind of like, Drake May's struggling. He's got to figure it out. With Caleb Williams, it was, Well, maybe the fingernails are the problem. Well, maybe, he's not a staple in the locker room. Maybe he's not a leader in the building. All of those things proven wrong in year 2.
I will agree with you that I would take Caleb Williams right now. No, I wouldn't trade Caleb Williams for Drake May straight up in this hypothetical world. That will never happen.
Right.
I wouldn't do that right now for a different reason. I think it's more because Caleb's been in Ben Johnson's system, and he knows what he's talking about, and he understands how to run the Bears offense. And I feel like he is a right fit for the city. I'm not going to say Drake May couldn't handle Chicago necessarily. The advantage that Caleb Williams had, though, to your point, is he was coming out of USC and already had won a Heisman when he was in college. And he was the presumed number 1 pick for an entire year while in college. And he had that media spotlight on him. And Boston has a big media spotlight, too. New England, the Patriots have a big media spotlight on him, too. And you have to follow up Tom Brady. But it's not that Caleb Williams has had this entire time. In Chicago, when the Chicago's good, we saw it this year. They are the focus of the NFL. Yes. They are the team that everybody has their eyes on, and Caleb's been really good at handling that. So, no, I don't think there are any players right now in the NFL that if I was offered them for Caleb Williams, that I would say, yeah, I'm going to take him. Another name that was brought up to me was Myles Garrett. But I don't think there's any world where you can do something like that for a non-quarterback. Yeah. So the conversation has to start with quarterbacks because it's the most valuable position.
Right.
And Myles Garrett's also paid already. So the conversation is Caleb Williams against other quarterbacks. And I think right now he is the most valuable asset at the quarterback position in the entire league.
That is Myles Garrett.
With the quarterback, with the contract, with the position,
You're not
value,
wrong.
he might be the most valuable asset other than maybe Drake May, purely because, Drake May's
he's in the Super Bowl right now.
And he's second in MVP voting.
Yes.
He will be second in MVP voting if he doesn't win the award.
Yeah.
So Drake May's over him. So maybe Caleb Williams is the second most valuable asset and could be the most valuable asset in a year, depending on how next season goes in the entire NFL.
I think what's interesting about it is, right, like the assumption is that Caleb gets better every single year. And as much as Drake May is talented and I think second in MVP voting, well-deserved, had a phenomenal season, people want to throw out the, look at the teams that he played and yada, yada, yada. We said that every year about Tom Brady still made the Super Bowl. Now, like, the playoff run is a little, I like how Shea put it, it's a little Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean? It's a little fairy tale story right now.
You played Denver without Bo Nix in the snow. It wasn't a real game. But then again, the snow probably hurt the Patriots more. Special teams, but it probably hurt the Patriots passing game with Drake May more than it hurt the Broncos with Jarrett Stidham. So to that point, but that game was a one-off.
But they're there, right? They're in the Super Bowl, so you have to give them the credit for what he's done this season. But I look at Caleb as a player that, let's say he gets to 65% completion percentage next year. He could arguably be the best quarterback in football.
If he gets to 65% completion percentage. So what was he at this year? What did he finish at?
He finished 58? At 58%, I believe, or 59%.
So if he gets to 65, we're talking about probably 3 more passes, maybe 4 that he completes per game on a per-game basis. If he makes that jump, he will throw for 4,000 yards if that happens. Probably closer to like...
Finished at 58% this year.
Probably closer to like 4,300 yards.
Yeah.
He'll probably throw for a few more touchdowns. Yeah. We know the interception to touchdown ratio is really good right now for Caleb.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, he will be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he'll be somebody that's going to break Bears records if he does that.
And I think there's an argument to be made that you're adding that to a player who has shown that clutch factor. I know people like to look at it as just this year. That's not the case. His rookie season, he was phenomenal in getting the job done to put you in a position to win the games. How many times did we see a Tyreek Stevenson moronic play that unfortunately we saw again this year, or a Matt Eberflus bad call or a missed timeout or a missed play call coming in? By the way, he's doing that with Shane Waldron in the building, who's running the exact same play on the goal line 3 times, who's running a triple option on the goal line in touchdown situations, right? Like who gives the ball to an offensive lineman for one of the most important touchdowns of the game. But Caleb Williams led you back to potential victories in those games. So you're adding that to a guy who's arguably the most clutch player in football right now. And I think that it's very easily attainable because he was at 61% the year before. So it's just getting him a little bit more accurate on some of the short yardage throws, which understanding the system in the second year will do.
And the deep ball accuracy at the start of the year was not very good. At the end of the year,
phenomenal.
It was very good.
Yeah.
So we saw those improvements with Caleb Williams. Plus, at the beginning of the season, you could kind of tell this team really didn't 100% get the offense. I mean, it took a while for Ben Johnson to say, we fully unlocked this entire playbook.
Yeah.
And so once you were able to do that, Caleb Williams looked a lot better late in games. The team in general looked a lot better late in games.
Yeah.
And to your point that he's a guy who's a winning quarterback, Pat, a lot of grief and a lot of negativity and negative connotation goes to somebody who's a quote-unquote game manager.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Brady was called for a while. Oh, he's not a great quarterback. He's a game manager.
He won 3 Super Bowls.
Well, Patrick Mahomes, for when his team's defenses were good and when he had weapons around him,
yeah.
he was a game manager.
Yeah.
Being a game manager is not a bad thing. Caleb has started to become a game manager. He doesn't turn the ball over. The completion percentage, once that gets up, he becomes a better game manager. Yeah. But while doing that and being the game manager, and that's why Patrick Mahomes is so great, you can manage a game, which he's starting to show he can do and isn't fully there yet. Can manage a game, and he has that top-level ability to throw the ball and make insane, ridiculous plays, escape the pocket, and create something out of nothing. And all of those factors go in to creating a quarterback that can alone win you games and be a win because of quarterback, not a win with quarterback. And Caleb is right there, going to be there next year as that win because of quarterback.
Can you call him a game manager, though, because of those fourth quarter moments? I think that's the thing, right? Like, there's not 10 throws that Josh Allen makes in a game that makes him not a game manager. There are 2 or 3 that you look at every single game and you go, Jesus Christ, look at this dude. Or, right, it's those fourth down moments where he just goes, I got the ball. I'm larger than most of the people on this field. I'm going to run through you and try and get to the end zone. I don't know if we can call Caleb, after what we saw this year, a game manager type of quarterback, because while I do think there's an aspect of it that every quarterback has to do throughout the year is managing the game, I think it's really those 2 or 3 throws that set you apart on the guys that can't make it and the guys that can. Caleb's a guy that can make it and has made it multiple times.
When I say game manager, and I completely understand what you're saying, Pat. When I say game manager, though, I'd argue no. Josh Allen's not a game manager. Yes, he makes those great throws.
Right.
But you brought up those fourth down plays and those great plays that might separate him from being just a game manager. I'll counter with the turnovers and with the bad plays, the right before halftime in the playoff game where for some reason he's fumbling the ball and trying to hold it back behind and maybe pitch it. I don't know what he's doing, and it cost his team 3 points.
You know he did that his second year in the NFL. And made the playoffs, and like the first playoff game, he tried to pitch it to win the game. And I was like, what year is it right now?
He doesn't. You don't need to do that. And that's why I'd argue maybe he hasn't hit those heights yet.
Are you saying Josh Allen's more of a gunslinger?
I'm saying he's more of a gunslinger. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes, while he has gunslinger abilities, is more of a game manager. I see that more in Caleb Williams than I see him in Josh Allen. And I'd rather him being that guy who can be conservative at times, who isn't going to try to lower the shoulder necessarily and run through people and fumble the ball or make the risky throw and turn it over. I'd rather him be more the Patrick Mahomes than the Josh Allen. I'd rather him be the more I'm going to be conservative and I'm going to make accurate throws. I'm not going to put the ball in danger. That's what Patrick Mahomes does, and that's why Patrick Mahomes has been so great. Josh Allen has been really great, but for different reasons. And guess whose his play style is translated to winning? It's Patrick Mahomes. It's not Josh Allen's, because when he turned the ball over, it makes it that much harder to win the game, and Caleb doesn't do that.
That is an interesting. Now, I will say this. The playoffs looked very Josh Allen-like this year, even though you win, right, 3 interceptions. Although a couple of those are on the head coach for being aggressive, and one of them's a punt, or 2 of them are punts, essentially. And like, you can look at these reasons why, but there are 3 turnovers on Caleb Williams in one game, 2 in the other. I think he finished with 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in the playoffs. So maybe a little Mahomes in that, or I'm sorry, a little more Allen in that in the first playoff run. But I feel like there are reasons where you look at it and go, well, he was making the right play, but X, Y, and Z happened. So I guess I could see it from that standpoint. But I feel like we use that term game manager so loosely. And realistically, everyone has to manage the game. It is your job as the quarterback to manage the game. To me, what separates it is, right, like who's a game manager? An elite one, Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
When it got to the fourth quarter, final possessions, you need him to go out there and make plays to put you in a position to win the game. Kirk didn't.
Yeah.
That's a game manager. Every single time, just about, that the Bears had an opportunity to put the ball in Caleb Williams' hands, 7 for 10 this year, essentially? That's a great percentage there where we're going to get down the field. It got to the point at the end of the season, we never went, oh, is Caleb going to get us down the field and put us in a position to win? We literally, by the time we got to the final Packer game, the final Rams game, I was like, we're going to get a field goal here. It just seemed like they weren't going after a field goal. They were going for the big play. And so, like, to me, when I look at situations like that, I don't see a game manager because game managers don't make plays to get you down the field. And we have seen a lot of that out of Josh Allen. We've seen the game-winning drives. We've seen, heck, one of the greatest playoff games of all time is Josh Allen going down there and putting up points, right? So, like, I think we throw that term around, like you said, though, like it's a bad thing. Realistically, it's what every quarterback has to do. What separates him is, okay, when you get in the crunch time, when you get in these big moments where you got to have it, do you have it? And we've seen Caleb have that. And I'll be honest with you, Jack, a conversation I think we got to have based kind of on this, right? How many players would you trade Caleb Williams for in the league? For me, and maybe this is hometown, maybe 2, maybe Josh and Pat. And it's only because we got Ben Johnson, we got the offense. But now, like, to me, because of that conversation, is Caleb Williams the top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
He's close. If we can name them.
Are there 10 quarterbacks that you would take above Caleb Williams?
Pat, Lamar, Jackson.
Yep.
You're probably going, is Herbert still there?
No. He's not there for me.
Burrow, Stafford.
Burrow, I would say, is there.
Stafford's going to win MVP this year. Like, even how old he is,
he's there.
You got to take him this season.
Yeah, he's there. Let me pull up all the quarterbacks, and we'll go through them here real quick because I think this one is very interesting. Here, hold on. Let's do this first. Let's do a quick ad read from Underdog, and then we'll get into this because I think this is like when you start to go through it. I would say there's not 10 that I'm taking, but we'll see. But hey, today's episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. Download the app today. Sign up with the promo code CBP to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code CBP. Underdog is so easy. All you got to do is just pick your favorite player, whether he'll go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, and receptions, and more. Get them right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Want to make a little money, Jack?
Oh, I want to make some money.
Want a little money? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always down for money.
Tap in with Underdog. What's tonight? We got a little NBA action tonight. I don't know who's playing at this point. Everybody's sitting guys for Giannis, so it's a dangerous game.
Do you think he's going to get traded?
Yeah, he's getting traded.
Okay. I hope he goes to the Warriors. I was talking with our buddy Mario, who produces at the station, and he was saying he was thinking Warriors would be the best move for him. Giannis and Steph together? Ooh.
That'd be nasty. The Warriors, me and my friends are arguing about this in our chat right now, actually, because the Warriors are so interesting because they could give you Kuminga. You'd take on a year of Jimmy's money, essentially. And they said they're willing to offer every first-round draft pick from now until 2032. So I'm getting Kuminga. I'm getting maybe a year of Jimmy if he plays, probably back next year, comes back from injury. I've already got Ryan Rollins. And 6 first-round picks, even though they can't draft well over there, which is their problem. Like, you had Giannis. You didn't draft a single player to help. Sign me up. I'd walk Giannis to go.
Similar package to what it would be for Myles Garrett, unfortunately.
Yes, 100%. And similar play style to Myles Garrett. Hey, make sure you guys tap in with Underdog. Make picks, win money. EOQ, the disclaimer. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
I love that my husband's so handy. He leaves more money for the important stuff.
Whoa.
Gosh darn it, Steve.
Ow. Don't be like Steve. Call Avondale Roofing. DIY is for Pinterest, not your roof.
Welcome back into the Chicago Bears podcast. Today's episode also brought to you by the Advantage Dealer Group. Find your next Chevy, Toyota, or Acura and drive off in under 60 minutes, and they'll make your first car payment. Also brought to you by the Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana. Las Vegas style game in just 30 minutes from Soldier Field. Exit 6 right off I-80-94. Pat the designer, AI Jack McGrath in the building. All right, let's run through these quarterbacks because I think this is so interesting here because Caleb Williams has played well enough that I think that this conversation, and I get it, right? Like, you look at the completion percentage and everything that you assume a great quarterback has. I don't think there's 10 quarterbacks in the NFL that I would say I want over Caleb Williams right now. So let's run through them here real quick. Matt Stafford.
Yeah, so is this based on their going into next season, or is this based on last year's performance? I guess it can't be last year's performance.
It would have to be based on going into next season because there's only 2 quarterbacks left, and I would rather have Caleb than both of them.
I'll say yes to Matthew Stafford.
Okay. Jared Goff.
No.
So
I'd rather have Caleb Williams than Jared Goff.
Okay. Dak Prescott.
That's a tough one, and I think that's where the line is going to eventually wind up being for Caleb Williams next season.
Dak had a really good year this year.
Dak had a good year, and Dak's one of those guys who I think he's got a good receiving core, and I think he makes his receivers better. I mean, we saw it with George Pickens this year. Great receiver, but he put up phenomenal stats with Dak. I'm going to go with – I'd still go with Dak Prescott, I think.
Okay, so we only got one at this point. Oh, you taking
2.
Dak.
I'm taking Dak.
You're taking Dak. Okay, Dak's on the list. Drake May.
Dak and Matt Stafford. You have to I'm going to get flack for this. You have to take Drake May. He's second in MVP voting. He led his team to the Super Bowl.
I would agree.
I understand it, but if you watch how he's played this year, you have to take Drake May. Not saying that could change next season.
Right.
I think it 100% could. Another year in this offense for Caleb Williams. But right now, the answer is Drake May.
I'm going Caleb Williams because of what you just said. Another year in this offense and the possibility that the completion percentage gets better. Caleb's going to clear Drake May by a lot.
I hope so.
We might be in MVP voting next year as well.
I mean,
now, you got to get to the 65% minimum, but like
May is in the MVP. He's one of 2 guys that can win the MVP this year.
Yes.
So if Caleb's there, we're talking MVP, as you said, MVP level voting. Let's get there. I like it. I hope so.
But Drake is there right now.
I'm going to say Drake's there right now.
Drake's in there for you.
We've seen it.
Sam Darnold.
It's another tough one. That's another
really?
one. That's right by the Dak line. I'm going to say Caleb will. He played great against the Rams.
I will say this. Sam Darnold, I think we're getting quarterbacks that are in the perfect situation for them, and we haven't seen that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold's in the perfect place for Sam Darnold, and I didn't think it would be there. But he was with Minnesota, which felt like it could have been. But you're seeing him play so much better. Like I said this going into that game, if they hit him, he's going to revert to the Sam Darnold he was in Minnesota. He got hit, and he got back up, and he was like, where's Jackson? That ball's going straight to him. And he made great plays. Like I would go Caleb, but I can see the Sam Darnold argument.
I'll go Caleb because I think if you put Caleb on the Seahawks right now, they're still in the Super Bowl.
They're in the Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence.
Another guy who's in MVP talks, but I'll take Caleb Williams next season. I don't trust it. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence as far as I can throw him, and I'm a small guy, so it's not very far. I'm going to say Caleb Williams.
Bo Nix.
Caleb.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, probably Herbert's, but it's a tough one. That's right there with Dak Prescott. Like, that's the line. Herbert and Prescott for me.
See, Herbert to me is and I know people say that it's hate. It's proven at this point, and we can say whatever we want. Listen, Caleb's playoff record is 1-1 with 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and unfortunately, there's things that happen that he can't control. Justin Herbert's real bad in playoffs, and real
Fair.
bad in gotta have it win situations.
Yeah.
Like, I've said this a lot. I can't even compare him to Phillip Rivers anymore because Phillip Rivers at least won some of them. Justin Herbert loses almost every we need you to drive us down the field moment.
Yeah.
So I'm out on Justin. But okay, so you got 4 right now. Baker Mayfield.
Pre-injury, Baker looked really good. Post-injury, he didn't look good at the end of last season.
Let's
So
say
I'll go
Baker's
Caleb
healthy.
Williams.
Let's say Baker's healthy.
I'm still going Caleb.
You're still going Caleb. All right. Pat Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Josh Allen.
Allen.
Jordan Love.
Williams.
Okay.
Caleb.
I was about to say.
I didn't think about it. No, it's Caleb.
These are the ones that get kind of easy. Jacoby Brissett, no.
Caleb Williams.
Aaron Rodgers.
Caleb.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is so interesting. We were just having this conversation on Carmen and Yurko. You can listen to that on the Carmen and Yurko podcast.
Make sure to tap in.
Jalen Hurts, we were trying to find comparable quarterbacks historically to Jalen Hurts. Some names that came up, Joe Flacco. Not in style of play, but
just
in terms of
success.
Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But is he elite?
He was in the playoffs.
He was in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, he was ridiculous.
So is Flacco better. Remember when everybody had the conversation?
That's
Is
what I'm
Joe
saying, Flacco?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco in the playoffs
And
was
Jalen
elite.
Hurts in the playoffs was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's the most comparable guy for me who's going to be on that borderline of elite. I put him right next to I can't, this is so we should tier them because it's so like the Dak Herbert Hurts tier is a tier for me.
Right.
Those are 3 quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, there's the elite.
Yeah, but those are 3 quarterbacks who aren't elite, probably not even in that next tier with like Stafford and May, but are in that next tier down.
Right.
And that's probably about where I have Caleb Williams.
And it's still top 10.
Yeah, which is still top 10,
Yeah.
but that's probably where I have Caleb right now. It's in that tier with guys who I view similarly. And Jalen Hurts, because he's a winner and he goes out and does it, doesn't have those passing numbers that Dak Prescott does, but Prescott has those numbers, and Herbert has those numbers.
And doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So Hurts is in your top 10. Okay.
Yep.
Ward.
No.
No. Jones.
No.
Stroud.
No. Caleb Williams. Stroud, come on.
Ever since he grabbed him,
I know.
It has been downhill.
Yeah. You know what Caleb should do next time the Bears and Texans play? I don't think they don't have a matchup next year, do they?
Bears and Texans. I think they do, actually. Don't we
Do
play
they?
the AFC South next year?
Yeah. Caleb should start giving CJ Stroud advice
No,
after
don't.
the game.
No, don't.
Yes,
let,
do it.
No, let karma
Give
be
him
what karma gonna
advice.
be. Hey, you let him live in that. You got an offensive line now. He don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He throws some bad passes though. He got to figure it out. So Stroud is a no. Geno Smith is no. Bryce Young is
No.
Geno Smith is even a player. Bryce Young is no. Tua,
No.
Lamar.
Tua got benched this year. Did you say Tua with a question mark? Tua got benched this year for Quinn Ewers.
Listen. I have heard people try to make the argument that it was the situation. It wasn't Tua. So I never know where people stand
it's
with
both.
Tua.
The situation's bad, but a good quarterback doesn't get benched for Quinn Ewers for a coach that's trying to save his job. Yeah. He's in the room. He knows that Tua wasn't there last year.
That is true. Yeah.
Your next name's Lamar. Lamar's better than Caleb.
Is in Flacco,
Joe Flacco? No.
Tyler Shupp.
No, but actually not a terrible quarterback.
Not a terrible quarterback.
But no, not a.
So you've only got 7 quarterbacks that you'd put above Caleb Williams right now.
Yeah.
So that means you have him top 8. I think it's funny because like when we started that, you were like, he's just outside
Where's
of
Brock
top
Purdy?
10.
I didn't hear Brock Purdy's name.
He
was hurt this year. We're looking at the
Brock
passing
was hurt.
yard
We are
numbers.
looking at passing yards. Okay, let me make sure I get everybody. Okay, there's more. So Brock Purdy, is Brock Purdy in there?
He's right there. Once again, it's in that same tier. But
Okay.
I'll say, I keep going back and forth on this one. I think earlier in the season, I even said I'd rather have Caleb Williams than Brock Purdy. But Purdy played really well at the end of the season and kind of went on a heater there at the end against the Bears and after that. So I will say Brock Purdy for now, but I think that's one that's going to be passed pretty quickly by Caleb.
So even so, like I mean, you got him 9 then.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because it's like you don't think, oh, Jaden Daniels is the other one we didn't say.
No.
Good
Not Jane
good
Daniels.
call.
Did we say Joe Burrow?
We did say Joe Burrow.
Okay.
You said Joe's in there.
Yep. Not Jane Daniels. Caleb's past Jane Daniels.
I mean, like if we're being, it's just funny because we have this and it's almost like PTSD where we initially go, well, he's probably in the 15 to 20 range. When realistically, what you saw from Caleb this season was phenomenal. How he played, the game-winning scenarios. And, yeah, there is a part where you go, man, that was really bad. There were some ugly games. There were some tough misses that have to be cleaned up. Caleb Williams would agree with you. There are a lot of those moments, but a lot of that is first year in the system. A lot of that is, I'll be honest with you, like, there's so many moments from that game where I see if a guy made a block, the Bears are winning the game and playing in Seattle for the AFC or NFC title game. Like if Roma Dunze makes a block, if Roma Dunze makes a catch, those aren't things that Caleb can control. And it's just funny because like it's like naturally we go, he's probably top 15, type of guy. Realistically, he played top 10 level. He was top 10 in passing yards this year. He was top 10 in touchdowns this year. Like, he did everything we asked him to do. The one number we look at is, well, he's doing it at a 58% clip. Yeah.
But he didn't take sacks.
He didn't take sacks.
He threw the ball away.
He threw the football away a ton. And that true completion percentage is right around 70% where you want it. Caleb Williams is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he's a dang good quarterback for you to have on your team. And
Boom. How you like that, Bears fans? You have a top 10 quarterback.
You have a top 10 quarterback. You have a franchise guy, and I think that changes so much in all the conversations that we had today of, like, what makes you – like, do I think he's a top 5 player in the league? No. I think Myles Garrett is. I wouldn't trade Myles Garrett for Caleb Williams.
No.
Because – quarterback means so much more. And even though Myles is a top 5 player in the NFL, you're not going to I see what you do without a quarterback. And now with I don't know how they landed on Todd Monken. That's bad. That's bad.
I hope
Todd Monken proves us all wrong, because I think everyone's general consensus was, ooh, that's not it.
He's had success. He's been an okay. He's been a good
OC.
Quarterback developer and OC, and he helped unlock Lamar a little bit, a lot of it. Yeah, well, let's see what he can do with those young QBs. I don't know who they go with at QB next season.
You got to be Shedeur, right?
Probably, but once again, listen, Gabriel was picked ahead of him.
Shedeur struggled last year. Dylan Gabriel actually looked like he couldn't play NFL football.
I don't know.
There was never a moment where it was like he could play in the NFL.
The thing is, I don't know if it's either of those guys are the long-term answer. Probably neither of those guys.
That is the realistic scenario there. It's going to be interesting to see how the Bears continue to build on this, because now the conversation is, you got your franchise piece. How do you make sure you don't Josh Allen? How do you make sure that you don't Lamar Jackson him, where you've got all this talent, but it's still not enough to get the job done?
Here's what helps, and this is going to sound so silly. You don't have a Patrick Mahomes in the NFC. You don't have a Tom Brady in the NFC.
That's true.
So who's going to take that mantle and be the guy that nobody can get over?
Or maybe you do, and it's Caleb Williams.
That's where we could get. Well, because Matthew Stafford's is going to retire in the next few years, whether it's this year, next year, or the year after. He's not long for the league. He's almost 40 years old.
Dak Prescott is really good, but that defense, well, maybe it'll be better without Flus. That's probably the team I think bounces back the most next year.
Yeah, I could see that.
Matt Eberflus destroyed that team.
But there's no player that's not overcomable. For the Bulls for so long, like to compare it to another sport, you had LeBron that you couldn't get over. When you had Derrick Rose, when you had the chosen one. Because Derrick was always the second best player in the Eastern Conference. Or the third best player. But for the Bears, I don't know that long term there's one player that's better than Caleb Williams that I'd rather have on my roster long term in the NFC. Who's the big bad evil that you're going to be chasing?
You're going to be
because Mahomes is over in the AFC.
Yeah.
So are the rest of the top quarterbacks. He could be the best quarterback in the NFC in a year.
You're going to be fighting Love. You're going to be fighting Goff, and I don't think that they, fall off the face of the earth. But realistically, the best guys are probably in your division. I mean, outside of that, Stafford's a little long in the tooth, although he's going to win the MVP. Mm-hmm. Maybe he comes back and he balls out next year. Like maybe he is still the bugaboo. Dak is so interesting.
Could be the Eagles and Hurts. I mean, it could be Darnold for Pete's sake.
Yeah, that's nasty work. I don't think I actually looked at that. Like, all of the quarterbacks are AFC guys. It really could be Caleb. And there's so much for him that he could take next season just by becoming a little bit more efficient. I think you pointed it out earlier in the show. It really is 4 or 5 passes. And realistically, if you have a team that doesn't, I think Ben Johnson sided with the quarterback when you heard him at the end of the year when he goes, we can't drop the football. Mm-hmm. We had too many guys that were just dropping the football. And he put the receivers. I thought he put Colston Loveland. I thought he put Cole Kmet. I thought he put all those guys on Front Street, all your pass catchers saying, opportunities were given to you for us to have a better scenario or a better season, and we didn't take advantage of them. It's funny because, like, now I've gone back. I've watched probably 3/4 of the season again, just rewatching the games and looking through some of the all 22 on them. And there's so many of these moments. There are moments where Caleb overthrows guys, especially early in the season. It's moments where Caleb misses. But there's so many moments where you go, dog, he led you perfect on that play. If you catch that ball and take it upfield, you win this game. It literally was the opportunity for the Bears to be one of these 14-win teams was truly there. And you see just these little moments where it's like, I wonder if that's going to be an issue in year 2. Probably not.
Yeah.
Because now you know what to expect. Now you know what to prepare for. Now you know where to be. Luther Burden is going to know where to be on the field, and that's going to be more dangerous. That's what I'm excited for. So let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Is there anybody in the NFL that you would trade Caleb Williams for right now? I think I had 2. I think you had 2.
I'm not doing it for Mahomes or Allen.
Oh no, you didn't have 2 then.
I have 0. I think May's the better asset right now, but in Ben Johnson's system, the way Caleb already knows it, like if you're giving me this hypothetical trade today, I'm taking Caleb Williams still because he already has a year under his belt in the system. For me, I think the answer is 0.
You might be right. And listen, it's tough for me to, even coming off an injury, Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. You tell me the GOAT can walk in the room. Listen, there's probably a lot of people that would have, looked at Aaron Rodgers and been like, he's the much more talented quarterback. Give me that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think that Caleb's talent could be higher than most of these guys that we've talked about, May, Allen, Mahomes, all of that, right? Like, I think he is proving to be and will prove even more to be a generational talent going into next year. But, man, Pat Mahomes just gets it done.
Fair.
And he got it done in a year where we weren't sitting there talking about, oh, he's got this receiver and this tight end and this. He literally went out with essentially no tackles and won a Super Bowl 1 year. So that's impressive to me. But we'll see what ends up happening. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Is there anybody you would trade Caleb Williams for in the league right now? And do you have 10 quarterbacks above Caleb Williams? I didn't. I think I had 6 because I didn't agree with a couple of yours. Purdy, Purdy's like 10 in top 10 if we're going to put him top 10. He was pretty impressive this year when he came back.
You got to tier it. That's the only way to do it.
Mac Jones was in there too, though. Mac Jones was getting the job done. That's nasty work. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. For Jack McGrath, is your boy Pat, the designer. Back at it again. Bear down. One love. Peace.